Well, I hope this thing is recording, and I hope the microphone is all that in a bag of chips. Got a lot of stuff to do today. Sorry for the side of my head, but I am, as usual, when I videotape, my intro driving first thing in the morning. It is Saturday, the 18th, so who knows when this will get put out. Let me see if I can put it over here. A lot of stuff going on today, and what I'm trying to do will be to physically mount the antenna NMO bases. Well, come on, hop in, we'll talk about it.
I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something. Hey, I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Okay, I don't know where exactly. Oh, deer. A couple of big females, which is not that uncommon around here. As a matter of fact, it's more common than it's not common. Today I plan on, I've got some errands in the morning, one of which I'm on, and I'll be probably taking the roof rack off that I made, so it's easier to drill the holes that the NMO roof mount. And I believe I'm gonna have to pull up. I got a third one. I've got two NMO mounts with cable feeds, and I ordered a third one to go in the center position. And just to be square, full disclosure, the intention with three of them back there was always to have UV or UHF VHF on one, and potentially CB on the second. And until something changes with my licensing, just GMRS on the third. If that changes, then I'll probably switch up to use the 2 meter 440, the UHF VHF, and have like the antenna that will do that and GMRS off of that, retain the CB, and have the third one for HF. I don't know what that looks like. I did the bumper hitch cutout so I could put a bike carrier that drops. You can lay it down so that you can access the hatch. Oh, by the way, one of the motors in the upright rods was bad, and that's why it kept going up and then dropping, up and down, up and down. And I believe there was also a sensor. So that's what the issue was with the rear hatch. It was a warranty repair. No muss, no fuss, boom, boom, in, out. So, it may still stay separated GMRS, UHF, VHF, CB, and then on a bike rack, like maybe a collapsible mast with the HF. Now, these are all, the point of all of this is removing it from the vehicle and there being no traces that it was done. Okay? I don't want holes. I don't want it there forever. There may be some time that I just don't want that on this vehicle. I don't see myself trading this vehicle in, but I don't want to have take a depreciation on the vehicle because I've knocked holes in it everywhere, and in the dash, in the roof, and just wherever. Okay, so that's the reason behind that. Who knows? I could keep this car until the wheels fall off. Don't know. So anyways, that's the deal, and I will bring you along for the ride. Oh, plus I'm going to assemble, probably not match, tune a 2-meter J-pole. But I'm thinking that the measurements, no, I should have the metal for that, because I think the long tube has got to be like 57 inches long with some measurements. So I might have all the components. So I'm going to put that together, and I'm thinking about making it tunable. We'll see. So that's what's on tap. Let's do it. Okay, this is later Saturday, and you know, just like you would think, it started raining, and so I finally was able to get the car in the garage and bought some new drill bits, and so I marked the top, and I'm installing the NMO mounts on the rail. Don't really care if you can see the X's or not. You know, I could always hit it with some more spray paint, but it's pointing at God. So I've got the first one already in, tightened down, and I'm going to do the other one here. I got 2 more aerials in the mail, and this is going to be used for a different type of stubby J-pole, stubby dipole, than the other one that I'm making. And I'll have to go over to Ace here in a little bit to get a couple more parts. But I wanted to pull you in on this part where I've got them mounted, and then the cables all be ran inside the car through the door, but as soon as I get this here, I'm going to put it back up and put the clamps back on, and I'll pull you back in then. Trying not to just completely bore you to tears. If you're catching a lot of wind noise, I got the back door open, it's kind of muggy, the air conditioner kind of kicking on, I got a fan on, and so anyways, it is what it is. Let us galley forth. Okay, so I got everything yanked out, pulled out, and put back in, reorganized. For the longest, the reason I kind of I jumped out of the video and then now I'm back in is because I couldn't find the brass locking ring on the NMO mount, and I was just like to lose my mind, and it was under here, just sitting here under a bag right here the entire time. So of course I ripped everything out of the back of my car to get the damn thing out. So here we are. They've got caps on them. Oh, you can see the other one over there, and the wires are ran. I may cut this one, cut them loose, and pull the cable out further, so I've got a little bit more run. That's like another foot or so. And this cable is going on the inside of the rail there, and it pops out and then down between the doors. So the biggest thing I didn't want to have happen is it to impact the seal around the doors. I didn't want any water ingressing into the inside of the vehicle. So, and I didn't want any of this unduly affected. So there's that one. And then we'll come back around here. And this one is the same way. Little dangly cord there, I gotta tighten it up there. But it's going inside the car same way. And it comes down under the floor mat on the second row, and then up between the center console. I think I'm going to go ahead and move this, get rid of this tie up here, because the cable is going this way, and probably just have it pulled just snugly into this wire tie here on both sides to give myself a couple more, maybe a foot more cable. But I'll see from on the inside of the vehicle but if that's going to really affect anything one way or the other. Now I do have a huge quad band antenna NMO mount that I got, and it would bolt up on either one of those. But I also have two stub mounts, 144, they're 2 meter 440 stubs. So I don't know exactly which way I want to do that, but one of them. But in the meantime, I've got the caps on there. I just didn't want any water in on top of the mounts. And for right now, they're good and snug as a bug in a rug. So let me bop out of the video, and then as soon as I make sure that this is not in the door, because that would be bad in the hatch. When I close it and pull out, I can just see me ripping the garage door off, opener off the ceiling. I'll pop back inside the vehicle for a cable connecting ceremony. Woohoo! Okie dokie. Let me get this thing jacked around here. So as it stands right now, that's the Beastmaster with the two stubby 2 meter 440 loaded mini coils, loaded coil antenna stubbies. That is exactly what I made the roof rack like that for, so that those mounts could be mounted up there and with the NMO connector. I've got a multitude of antennas. 2 of them were delivered today, 3 of them. The 4th one is a couple of stops away according to Amazon. But I just wanted you to see that they're on there. Now one of those, this side, the one closest here, is the one that's currently connected to the radio. And I would say it's a pretty clean install. You can't really see that there's antenna cable coming down until you come here, and then it's just going in between the gap right here. It's not there's actually a break in the molding right there, and a huge opening inside the door for geez Louise, you could put double-aught welding cable in between there and it wouldn't impede closing the doors. The center is going to be a UHF connector to a cable to most likely run, like I said, a ham radio antenna. But what I wanted to show you, it's not completely done. This is, well, let me see if I can back out here. I don't want it to fall over and hit the Mrs. Volvo, because she gets all kinds of excited. Well, no, she doesn't. She's not that type. But anyways, that's a 2-meter J-pole, and it's all soldered together. Well, not completely. I haven't tuned it yet, so that cap isn't soldered on. And then this piece was a 5-foot piece that I'd bought, and I'd forgotten my measurements on the cross piece, so I just cut a little nick off the end of it to make that cross piece. Come to find out, if I'd have just cut the exact amount that I needed, I wouldn't have to be using this little extension piece, and I may not. This is a 1/2-inch piece of copper, pieces of copper tubing, and some of the things that are a little different than all the other 2-meter Yagis that I've seen is these are slip joints for 1/2-inch copper. And when I find where I'm going to, the feed point on this is, I'm going to solder. I'm going to show you some. When I find the feed point that I'm going to use for it, I'll solder the cable here and on that one, and then solder it in place wherever it is. Forget exactly what that measurement is. Now, one of the things that I may still do is I may put a nut and bolt, stainless steel nut on the inside of that cap, and a stainless steel nut on the outside with a piece of stainless steel all thread, or just a long skinny bolt there and there, so I can match or tune it to the center of the 2-meter band. We'll see where it's resonant at. One of the things that I'll be doing for sure is to make sure it doesn't look it. But I need to make sure that those are exactly parallel to each other. It looks like it's a little high on here, but that can be adjusted. And it's all soldered together. That's just a, I don't know, it's a pointy piece of copper that's already molded shut, pinch closed, that was in the plumbing department. I said, yeah, hell yeah. So, I wanted to drop some math on you. And the thing that I wanted to kind of, that's one hell of a nice, that's a fine looking Cadillac that, or convertible you got there, mister. Actually not, but one of the things with these measurements is that you have to take into consideration the velocity factor of copper, and I don't think the measurements that I ran took that into consideration, so that extra piece there may very well be unnecessary. So we'll hook it up to a nano VNA, or nano VA, or I've got an antenna meter up there too, but I'll check it and then check where the best place for the feed point is and get it all square, and then this will go into the books as complete. bear in mind the velocity factor when you do the math on these things for copper is 0.96. So, and I think that the drawings that I was using was for a I don't know if it was 1/2 inch copper tubing or 3/4 inch. I just couldn't see making a 3/4 inch copper tubing J-pole. I mean, it's blatantly unnecessary. You could use 2-gauge wire, copper wire, and make a J-pole that's just as efficient as 3/4 inch copper. So it's all about material and thickness, for surface area, and then the material being considered for velocity factor. So let me drop some numbers on you. I don't know what that is. That looks like about a 7-inch. It's a pipe fitting. I think it's for something to do with plumbing, for like to keep it from pulsing or having issues inside a plumbing loop. But then there's an elbow, a T, and a cap, and a cap up there. And that is 19 inches. That long piece of copper tubing is 19 inches. The cross piece is, and that's not from, that's just the piece, that's a measurement for just the naked piece of copper without fittings on it, cap or anything. It's 19 inches. The centerpiece is 2 1/4 inches. Okay. Plus, then you add the T and the elbow to get your spacing. And this long piece is 57 inches. So that is that. There's my thing is I got to have this thing parallel, 100% parallel. I don't know if it's as critical as I'm making it, but I'm just like being all 17 shades of anal retentive about this thing. So there it is, and I may get the materials and make a 440 J-pole, or I may use this heavy copper wire that I got. Let me show you that. I may, one of these is going to get turned into a 440 Slim Jim, and the other one's going to be turned into a GMRS Slim Jim, and that's some heavy duty stuff right there, my friends. Don't let it kid you. So there is that. And yeah, and those are 2 whips that'll be getting cut down and being used to make a stubby diapole as soon as I get the rest of the fittings and the parts for that. So hold on, I'll show you a couple more antennas that I've gotten today, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is knockoff Chinese quad band with center coils for the different frequencies. I believe I'd have to check and make sure what the frequency ranges are. I know it's at least covers a 2 meter 440 GMRS, and I believe the 220 and the 28 megahertz CB. I believe you can get some at like 10, 11 meter in on this. I'd have to check for sure on this, and this is a clone of the Comet antenna, which I also ordered. Then the specifics on that one is it's a UHF mount, which would put it in contention for the center position on antenna rack up there, or by, I showed you these. These are adapters to go from NMO to UHF mount. That could put it where one of these little bump coil mini antennas are. The other thing that could be done is to increase its stated capacity and the effectiveness of the antenna is this ground radial, and that would go, obviously that's a UHF mount, UHF mount in, UHF mount out, and then it would screw right to the base of that. The other antenna I got is this also a Chinese clone, and this is supposedly a quarter wave 2 meter 440 antenna, and I'll be hooking that up to the Nano VNA or the antenna tuner and seeing where it resonates at. And I was actually just out here kind of piddling around because I have a third antenna coming that's, I don't know, 4 stops away, and I was checking out my little rescue hydrangea. This was tossed in the garbage, and I was like, oh hell no. And I've been watering it and taking care of it, and look at all the sprouts on it. I think it's going to make it. These things just need, out here in the south, it needs sunlight and moisture. And sitting right where it's at, it's going to get plenty of that. It rained like a fool not too long ago, just about 2 hours ago. So that is that. Okay, it's the next morning, and the other little antenna arrived, and I just needed to get out of the house. Usually Saturday and Sunday I try to hit the, well, no, not so much hit the gym, but like I go over and get donuts, just wash the car, gas, that kind of stuff. And today I didn't do any of that. I was actually updating a MacBook, getting the operating system as current as it could be made. Yeah, doing that, and then an old iPhone that I had, it was locked, password locked, or Apple ID locked, one of the two, and I had to break into it with the Apple configurator. So that it was up. So anyways, I've got a couple of other things that I wanted to add to this video that may become prominent in the future, so bear with me. Okay, I'm around the corner from, well, I'm in the parking lot. Right down there is the river. That's the new pavilion, and one of the upcoming videos I wanted to shoot some footage of the work that they've done on it. It's the craftsmanship and the quality of work here in the South is it's on point. So anyways, that's where I'm at, and what I wanted to show you is this little sucker here, it's a gasket on top of the base there, and I'm going to replace that one, that nub, with this. And this is strictly a 440 or GMRS, and I wanted a GMRS specific, and that is the antenna. And I will be mounting it shortly. I've got my little step stool in the back of the car. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is the antenna analyzer I'm going to be using. Now, I saw a Dave Kasler video where he was messing around with one of these. I obviously don't have a freaking clue how to use this, so it'll be fun. Trust me. Learning how to use this damn thing. I also have a nano VNA, or a little nano oscilloscope that, of course, I'll have to relearn how to use again. Oh, the joy. So anyways, that's that. And I bought it on, where America goes to shop. And that would be Amazon, by the way. So at some point, I will be testing all these antennas and configurations that I'm talking about and I've been showing you. So let me break away and I'll be right back. It occurred to me that maybe I ought to be showing this. That's the O-ring that came with it. And, these all have an O-ring, that black ring there, on the bottom of them, okay, to seal it so that you're not getting crap up in here, water, moisture, stuff like that, inside this connection. This is actually a little antenna, and I think they probably sell it so that you could use that with a NMO mount, which this is, or with a UHF mount. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but that's what that is for. So it obviously does not have a grommet or a gasket on the bottom O-ring, so one would need to apply it thusly. And there it is. So I'm sure that will raise eyes, because that's like total cop look, and it's all blacked out, and I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, that is the installation of the antenna, and we will see. Oh, I have decided that I'm probably going to change that configuration, remove the Android tablet mount. I have a tripod for it that screws to, and if I'm going to do satellite, which it's gonna happen, then I'll just use, and it's never going to be inside the car, so that's why I'm taking that out. The real estate in this area is starting to get a little crowded. My Yeti, and whenever I have a passenger and they have a Yeti the same size, it starts getting in the way. So I've opted to take that part out, but what I am going to do is I'm going to turn that and connect it to this. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to connect it to that brace, because what is coming is the Anytone AT500 II or whatever. It's a CB radio from Anytone, and I'm going to stack them and just have a plate that goes from here to the other one and have both setting there. Then one of those, and that antenna there is going to be used with handheld. GMRS handheld is where that's going to be used. And that's one of these antennas cables in here. So it is what it is. This cable here is connected to the other stubby one of these. So that's the news, weather, and sports. Let me come back in a second and we'll do a wrap up here. Okay, so if you made it all the way to this point, God love you. You may want to see about getting a life or some therapy, one of the two. But I do appreciate it, both of you. I am endeavoring to bring my, I've said it several times, and this time I'm really going to do it. Step up my game on the videos and consistency, and more than anything else, quality. So coming videos are going to be finishing the J-pole, the 2-meter copper pipe J-pole, testing it with that antenna analyzer. There's two different types of stubby dipole. Two of those. A 70 centimeter Yagi, a 2-meter 70 centimeter Yagi, and I think they're calling them Yagi Udas for satellite work with a handheld. So, and the CB, an antenna. There's antenna duplexers. I ordered one of each, two different types, to make my own Yagi. I have arrows that I ordered from China to make a knockoff of the arrow antenna Yagi. So there's stuff coming. Stay tuned if any of this stuff seems important or even moderately interesting, or heaven forbid even humorous. One last thing is, I've been told that my personality on these videos is not my real personality. I am not quiet. I am not reserved. I'm usually a smart ass, and I have intention, I don't know. So I'm going to endeavor to make these a little bit more fun and humorous. We'll see. Who knows? Alright, well, I was checking out those Beamers. It's like the Beamer Club of Bluffton, of the greater Upper Upland, or Bluffton. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you think about it, hit subscribe, like, and heaven forbid, maybe even share. I appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.